What's good, y'all? This your country cousin Pete McCorvey, aka Petey Mac. Man, get on up here, pull you up one, light you up one, kick your shoes off, relax, baby. You around family, we on the porch. It's Pete McCorvey's Porch Talk. Let's do this. Yo, what's happening? This your country cousin Pete McCorvey, aka Petey Mac. Welcome back to the porch. I know it's a little different. I'm putting this episode out on a Friday instead of on Saturday because one, I had the day off, and two, I have something I have to do. I have a day trip I'm taking tomorrow on Saturday, so I won't be able to sit down and talk my talk with y'all on a Saturday like I normally do. But man, it's the end of the week. It's Friday. We coming up on Columbus Day weekend or Indigenous People Day weekend, depending on how you feel about it. All I know is it means we got Monday off. Whatever the holiday is, it's a day off Monday. So I'm just glad y'all kick it with your cousin. Before we go further, October is not letting up anytime soon. The Reaper is just busy this month as he was in September. This past week, we lost the great Sissy Houston, who most of you all know is the late, great Whitney Houston's mother. And Sissy Houston was a musical legend in her own right in the gospel realm of music. So the only solace I can take in the passing of this legend is the fact that she is reunited with her equally talented daughter. Rest in peace, Miss Houston. Our thoughts and prayers go out to you and your family, and probably out to Bobby Brown. I don't think they had the great relationship, but still, I mean, that was the man's mother-in-law, and he's taken a lot of L's in the world with death. So we praying for Unc too. Our prayers go out to Bobby Brown. Now, October is also on the roll because today has been a great day for music releases. Like 2 albums from 2 of my favorite rappers dropped today. Didn't even know they were going to drop. The first one that dropped was my man Dom Kennedy dropped an album. I haven't had him drop anything in a long time. It was good to hear Dom Kennedy again. I first got on Dom Kennedy in 2014, back when I first got our station in San Diego. Friends of mine who had been stationed out there for a while, they had put me on Dom Kennedy. You know, it was his album Get Home Safely, and 2 songs that stuck out to me was Still Calling. I'm still trying to find out who is Annie, because he's like, me and Annie used to fuck around. I'm still want to know who that chick is that he's talking about. And the other song that I like by him, and it's just a beautiful song to ride to, I've sat at the beach and listened to, but the number one thing about it is every July 16th, I listen to this song because it's my late brother Tony's birthday. My brother Tony, who passed away back in 2005, I listen to this and it makes me reminisce of him, and that's his song, After School. I listen to After School every July 16th, and I just think back of the 16 years that God blessed me with my big bro, and I get a little emotional. But I probably let that song run all day. I probably play that song like 10 times in that one day. But one line that sticks out to me on that song is when Dom says, if I make it to heaven, I hope they still serving brew so I can get to see Nick. Me and him have a few, because there's some guy from his past named Nick that he rap about. So every time I hear it, I just think about my brother. And I don't drink no more, but I do like change the lyrics up in my head. It says, if I make it to heaven, hope they still serving brew, hope to get to see TL. Me and him have a few. That's what they used to call my brother TL for Tony Lewis. So Dom, I've been a fan of Dom ever since, but this album that he released, it is reminiscent of the classic albums we used to listen to back in the day. You know, an hour and 2 minutes long, and it's like 18 tracks, and none of the tracks are, 19 tracks, and none of the tracks are like those 1.5-2 minute tracks that we've been seeing a lot lately. he did his thing with that album. Also another rapper who also released the album. I got put on to him by my college roommate who happened to be a DJ back in 2009, 2010. Currency released the Encore today, and he has partnered up with DJ Fresh. So I already knew when I saw him and DJ Fresh's name on there, it was going to be a banger. My favorite track on this album is Never Get Her Back, and I love it because he sampled the Whispers Olivia on that track. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I just found out like last year that Olivia's about the woman being out on the blade. But it makes sense because the parenthesis name of Olivia is Lost and Turned Out. All these years, I didn't know what they were saying. Listening to that with my parents, thinking, oh, this is some nice, smooth, sweet music. Whole time, it's talking about Olivia being out on the blade. Now, his is like your standard album now. It's 11 songs and it's like 27 minutes long, but it's still fire. And another person who released last week, but I can't really say it's really recent. He just released the deluxe version of his album, but that features some live performances. It's BJ the Chicago Kid. He released the deluxe version of Gravy. And still, best song on there to me is Liquor Store in the Sky. Been down with him since 2015 when I first saw him in concert with Big Crit. And I remember before that, I heard him on Studio a year prior on Schoolboy Q's Oxymoron album. So yeah, he just, like I said, this whole like week, but apparently he, like I said, he released this a week from today. He released this on the 4th. So like I said, October has just been real good with music. And last but not least, one of my favorite rappers, Payroll Giovanni, he just released what is probably going to become part of my morning routine. It's called Boss Affirmation. And it's just a minute and 56 seconds of him just saying affirmations all over and over again. And like Payroll just, he may get money. Like he said, he don't make junky music, he makes get money. And that song, I press upon you, if you like motivational music or you need something to let you know to keep going, you definitely need to download Boss Affirmation by Payroll Giovanni. It is one of the greatest songs I've heard in a while. Now, we're going to skip on over to sports. Sports, boy, football is, woo. College football is in a whirl, man. Alabama lost to Vanderbilt last week. Now, I am so happy because, oh my God, if it ain't nothing more annoying than a Dallas Cowboy fan, it's an Alabama Crimson Tide fan. And for them to get knocked off by unranked Vanderbilt, chef's kiss. Chef's fucking kiss. Oh my God, boy, you couldn't get none of them on social media. You couldn't get none of them on the phone. And all of them wanted to try to talk crap to me because they wanted to be like, well, Florida State, okay, we know that. We know we gonna lose, bro. We 1-5. So we know. I knew they was gonna get beat by Clemson. I called it. I ain't gonna lie. They did better with Clemson than I thought they were gonna do. Cause I really thought Clemson was gonna like run up the score, like hang 50. But Florida State, you know, they got beat, but they ain't get beat to sleep. And Clemson ain't take them down through there. Yeah, they got beat 29-13. And you know, with that being Clemson and who they are, I can live with that. I can live with that. But Alabama losing to unranked Vanderbilt, tragic, but funny. Also, another phenomenon that's in the college football world, both Army and Navy are both 5-0 and undefeated for the first time since 1945. Oh my God, that means the Army-Navy football game might be actually worth seeing. Hopefully we might have a battle of the unbeatens. And like college football, like I'm loving what I'm seeing college football, but this is, as much as I hate the transfer portal because everybody just run if they can't get away, I love it because it's somewhat even in the playing field. And it is a beautiful thing to see. We'll move on to the NFL. My Broncos, we above 500, and I'm glad we 3-2. We beat our arch nemesis, the Raiders, 34-18. Thank God. Oh my God, I love that because boy, I be hearing it from Raider fans all day long. But I'm not gonna lie. What's the biggest thing about that game? It's not the fact that we beat them. It's the fact that I don't know where people find out this type of information, but one of our defensive backs, well, it's that's cornerback, Riley Moss, got a pick. And what makes that so significant, he's the first cornerback in 22 years. Well, the first white cornerback, in 22 years to get an interception. I don't know who looks up all these stats. When I saw that stat, I had to laugh. I'm like, who looks that up? But then I had to think about it. It's like, yeah, I don't really see too many white cornerbacks. But so I like that. Broncos making history. Shoot, I think the last white cornerback that got the interception was probably Jason Sehorn from the New York Giants. I remember Jason Sehorn. I ain't gonna lie. With a name like Jason Sehorn, I thought Buddy was just high yellow with good hair, man. I did not know that was a white dude till he took his helmet off. I said, oh, that's a white boy. Oh my God. Yeah, man. So Broncos made history with that. And I'm real proud of that. I'm real happy about that. Just even happy that we got that win and we're above 500. That's all I ask, that we can just stay above 500, at least get to the playoffs. I don't think we're going to get to the Super Bowl. If we get to the playoffs, I can live with that. On to the world of basketball, NBA basketball, preseason. Bronny is struggling, man. He's really struggling. Last game, he didn't have any points, rebounds, steals, assists, anything. Now, I'm going to say this because everybody keeps saying, well, that's what you're supposed to do. Your father is supposed to put you in a position to do all that. Okay, all y'all need to shut the hell up, okay? Yeah, Brian did what a father's supposed to do, but you are supposed to produce. You're supposed to produce. You're supposed to get the job done. You're supposed to. We got you for a reason. We want a return on our investment. All that. Well, his father. And in fact, y'all need to shut up. Y'all need to just shut that up right now. Like, it's not about. Yeah, you're supposed to set your kids up, but if your kids ain't producing, you need to call a spade a spade. And I say that because somebody in my family had that happen to them. My godfather did this for one of his children. I'm not going to say which one of his children. I'm not going to tell you if it's my father, my uncle, nothing. But just, I remember my grandfather, God rest his soul, he used to work at an oil refinery plant. That's in my hometown. He got my family member a job there. And he went out on a limb, got my family member a job, but he told my family member straight to his face, he said, I told that man who's over you, you screw up one time to get your ass out of here. You not finna fuck up my good name. And it had to be sick. My papa hardly ever cussed. He hardly ever cussed. That was the one time I ever heard him cuss. The other time I heard him cuss was when my grandmama was going off about something. It was me, and I remember my Aunt Niecy sitting at the table, God rest her soul too. And my grandma was going off about something. My papa was watching, I can't remember if it be the NASCAR or the PGA Tour. But either one is NASCAR or golf. Don't interrupt him. That's just what he like. As a 80-something-year-old black man from Mississippi, don't know why he liked that. It must have just soothed his soul. When we had that on, you ain't bothered. So my grandmother's in the kitchen just going off. She just going off about whatever it is that she going off. Because she go off about Lord knows what. Lord knows when. My papa looked up, turned around, and just said, Roberto, nobody want to hear that bullshit today. And turned right back around and started watching TV. Me and my aunt niece ain't know what to do. We was like, do we leave? Do we call the police? What do we do? Because but like I said, my grandfather said what he said. He went back to doing it. And that was the end of that. And my grandmama stopped for about 10 minutes. She was going to go back to doing it because she talked shit, because that's where I get it from. I get it from her. But for them 10 minutes, we was all shocked. We was like, oh, okay, well, yeah. That's how that go. But, so we can't keep getting brought. But that's good news out of the Lakers. So a friend of mine who actually used to be a radio host in Atlanta, whose show I got the privilege of doing a couple of times. I was there. My man Gerald Oliveira, excuse me, my man Gerald, his son Quincy Oliveira plays with the Lakers, and it looked like he's doing pretty good. Like, they had a quote from JJ Redick that was giving him great praise. Like, so I shout out to my boy Gerald and his son Quincy, who I've like pretty much grown up watching him, because Gerald has posted his whole college, high school and college, and now the pros basketball career, and I'm so proud of what that young man has accomplished, and hopefully he can be a Laker for a long time. And Gerald, I need a jersey. I just tell me how to get a jersey and what the cost, and I'll get one, because I like to support my people and their children when their children are doing great things. And I'm happy because Gerald's your son in L.A. It gets no better than that. L.A. is where it's at, man. Is where it's at, my G. So, yeah, big ups to Gerald and Quincy, man. I'm proud of that father and son combination right there. We're going to move on to, it's some crazy stuff that I saw and I was going through like social media, and I saw a story from the Real Mike Media, and it was talking about Joey Chavis. For those that don't know who Joey Chavis is, or Joy Chavis, I don't know, it's spelled Joie. I don't know if it's Joy or Joy, but whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She baby mama of Bow Wow, Future, and Trayvon Diggs from the Dallas Cowboys. She had the nerve to tell these people about getting pregnant by them three. It wasn't planned. It just didn't work out with all three of them. Girl. Like Joe Clark said on Lean On Me, you think I'm stupid. Yeah, you do, and you're trying to con a con man. Girl, ain't nobody trying to hear that. You, first of all, you right, you probably didn't plan it. You calculated the shit out of that beautifully. Cause nothing against you, cause the name of the game is secure the bag. You didn't just secure one bag, you secured three. You knocked the Sonic rings out of three top tier dudes. Cause I don't care what y'all say. You can say what you want to say about Bow Wow and clown him and this, that, and the third. The man is still getting money with them do-rag. And once upon a time, Bow Wow had the rap game in a chokehold. You can say what you want to say. You can argue with your bald-headed ass mammy. The dude, once upon a time, was that dude in the rap game. But yeah, her saying this, it's like, come on, like, don't, you ain't got a lot of kick it, shot it. Like, nobody's judging you about that. Nobody gonna call you for the streets or nothing like that. You got 3 kids by 3 high-profile dudes, and you getting bread. I, for one, salute it. I salute it. Like, I think one of your baby daddies said in the song, go get the money, hey, go get the money, you know. And that's what you did. You went and got the money. And just keep it P, baby. Like, it was what it was. But you, to quote one of your baby daddies, sensational. Cause you was that when you was planning all that, doing all that. So I salute you, baby. You ain't gotta sit there and worry about how nobody look at you. Cause they can look at you all like that while you laughing to the bank. So big ups and big salute to you. Now, I want to get to the meat of this episode, y'all. So, for this month, I've decided I wasn't going to reach out to anybody and give anybody a phone call unless it was, like, real dire important. Because I just was taking a break from calling people. So, I wanted to know, if I run across people's mind and they will call me. Because I noticed that about myself. I'm always initiating contact with people, but they never initiate contact with me. So, decided October 1st, I wasn't going to call nobody. And for like the first 9 days or so, I didn't get any phone calls. I ended up getting a phone call from 3 people Wednesday night. First was my homegirl, Shanice, Navy friend of mine. She called me, but it was, I mean, even though it was because the answer question that I DM'd her about, it still meant something to me because she never called me. She'll just DM me when she came back. She called me. We had us a nice long talk. You know, we caught up and I got some advice from her and stuff like that. I heard some things that she was telling me. You know, we just caught up and it was good to catch up with my friend. Then right after that, about like an hour or so after that, my cousin Amon called me from Atlanta. Now he always call and check in on me from time to time. Like he's one of my favorite cousins. Cause matter of fact, me and him, the first cross-country road trip that I took driving was with him was when I first joined the Navy and I got stationed in San Diego and I had to drive from Atlanta to San Diego. And he took that trip with me. We had a ball. We stopped in New Orleans. We and went to French Quarter and got us some beignets from Cafe Du Monde. We went to San Antonio and we saw the Alamo, which I see why David Crockett got killed, because that thing ain't worth a damn. It ain't bigger than most people's living room, for be for real. I see why Santa Ana's troops decimated that. That's a history lesson for y'all. Go look that up. Good steak though. Had a good steak on the Riverwalk, which is smaller than what I thought it was gonna be too. And we was gonna go to LA, but I got tired, man. I hit 10, the 10 turned into the 8 in like Arizona. I said, screw that, man. I'm gonna have to take it in. I catch LA on the rebound. But he called and checked on me. We talked for a little bit. And you know, had to get out. Now the last person I heard from is a friend of mine, a comedian friend of mine from my first tour in San Diego. And this is where stuff gets like wonky, and this is what is fueling my my topics that I'm going to talk about here. So I called a person. I was just randomly, he called me, said he was doing a show, he needed me to pump him up, and I was like, I don't really pump people. I'm like, bro, we've done shows before, you've done good, just go do what you gonna do. So I ended up finding out from listening to talking to him on the show that he was supposed to be hosting some show at one of the clubs in San Diego. I'm not going to say this club's name. And apparently he agreed to do the show, but the person who put the show together didn't pay him. And I was like, well, who is the guy? He was like, he's somebody, he a nobody. And I'm like, okay, so why are you taking the show? And he was like, well, he don't want to do that. I got a bunch of people come. I'm just going to tell them not to pay and just to go in and not pay. And I'm like, what? What do you mean go in and not pay? Like, bro, you can't do that. That's a business. He's like, well, no, they my people. I'm bringing a lot of people. I'm like, okay, well, then you need to tell this man to give you money or they just don't need to come. And he was, nah, man, they ain't not going to pay me. I'm just going to tell my people, go in, don't pay a 2-drink minimum, don't pay the 2-item minimum. I'm like, bro, you can't go in a business and tell them not to do that. Like, he's like, well, what's going to happen? They're going to arrest me. All the cops going to be at Petco. I'm like, yeah, just because they're at the Petco Park for the Dodgers Padres game don't mean every cop in San Diego is going to be there. He's like, I said, so let me get this straight. You want them to bum rush the door because your people to bum rush the door because you not get paid? Yeah, I'm like, you do realize that San Diego is a predominantly white town and you're probably going to jail. He was like, but now if I had I'm like, bro, I don't know why you think this. And I was like, why are you with this guy? And he's like, well, I don't know why he's not paying me because I'm very funny and all. And I've told this guy this ever since I met him, because I've been doing comedy for a few years when he started. He started in San Diego. And I've been telling this guy this since we started. Being funny ain't all it is. Because every time he'll tell me something people did him wrong, I tell him, bro, you keep thinking because you're funny that people care about that. The game of being comedy ain't all about being funny. I know a gang of comedians that are hilarious. I'm talking about not just like they shit talkers on the corner. No, I'm talking about no, get on stage, got great material, great stage presence, crowd work is impeccable. But the powers that be don't want to fuck with them for whatever reason. It may be because they just don't have the look they looking for, their material may not be, or just simply the person is funnier than them and they don't want them upstaging them. But it was all he was, no, I need to, they did that. And then he was like, well, it don't matter, I'm moving anyway. I'm like, well, where you moving? He told me where he was moving to. He told me that he was moving somewhere, and it's somewhere that I have been, and I spent a lot of time at doing comedy. And I said to him, hey, he's like, I'm going to do that and leave. I was like, well, number one, dude, word of mouth travels. So you can't just do that and think that they won't reach out to somebody in, back in San Diego. I said, because word travels. Like, I found this out. One of my partners, when I was in Tacoma, my boy, Ashley Russian, he went to Texas and he did something in Texas, and it was one of my comedic partners from San Diego, my boy Chris Espinoza. He was there. Somehow he mentioned Washington State, and my name came up, and when Rush came back, Rush said, man, I was down to check this, your boy Chris told me, and then, like, so I told him, I said, bro, word gets around, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to have, that's going to be a bad look for you. And he was like, well, I don't know. And then he's like, well, I'm moving and I got a show I'm going up there to do. I'm like, well, who's the guy? Well, I ain't never heard them and all. But I'm like, so why are you moving up there? And why are you going to do show? I'm funny. And it's like, I just had to just let him rant and rave because he's still, and it's the thing that I want to talk about. I was going to get to a couple of topics, but I don't think I'm going to get to them. But this is the thing that is killing us as society, mainly a black society, and it's that damn entitlement. It's entitlement. Entitlement is killing us because my dog, he suffers from it, and he's been suffering from it ever since I met him. Love him to death, but he suffers from it because when I try to explain, like, the business of comedy, because I've been doing a few years, I did it in Atlanta, and I saw the ins and outs from watching and chopping it up with people like Carlos Miller, Marvin Hunter, Rodney Perry, Clayton English, and the list goes on. The people you see on TV, and just watching how they move and then listening to them after the show when everybody's either smoking or drinking or just chewing the fat, or we at the Waffle House eating or whatnot. And I'm trying to entail that on him, but it's just, I'm funny. And it's that sense of entitlement that he has, which I don't understand, because my man was in the Marine Corps, and the Marines are known for having to earn what they want. And I even told him, I'm like, bro, that's kind of funny that you was in the Marines and you kind of, you think like this, my dude, like, but it just is like, I couldn't get through to him, but it's like entitlement is killing us. We think we're supposed to, that life is supposed to do this. Like, I saw it all the time in the Navy. These new kids come in, especially, I'm going to say it straight up, especially if it's a young, white female, and the plus is if she good looking, them girls walk in there like the world is just they oyster. And here's the thing about me. I like my white women like my milk. I don't drink milk. They have gotten their feelings hurt with me a bunch of times, to the point where they've ran and told my senior listed or the commissioned officer, like, well, she don't like you talking to them like that. I said, sir, or chief, senior, or master chief, I said, I didn't know my name was Miss Jackie. Why did you say Miss Jackie? Because that was the name of a kindergarten teacher back when I grew up in Mouse Point, Mississippi. Because obviously you think this is kindergarten, and it's not kindergarten. They don't like somebody talk to them harshly when they screwing up, or they don't like cussing. They in the wrong line of work. I said, and here's the thing. If they can't handle cussing, or somebody screaming at you, how they gonna handle when bombs is going off around us, missiles flying past us, bullets is grazing them, and guts and organs are hanging by, and we in the heat of battle? Because me, I always take it to the extreme. And then they look, I say, yeah, this is the military. This ain't kindergarten. I'm not here to hold their hand. This is the thing. Life's tough. Get a fucking helmet. But It's just entitlement. That's something that's really killing us because we go on these things thinking that we supposed to have this type of lifestyle. We supposed to have this type of mate. We supposed to have it. You only promised two things in this world. That's being born and dying. Everything in the meantime, in between time, you either worked hard to get it or life through your bone and you got it. But all that, I'm supposed to do this and this is what's going to happen. I don't like that. I'm a black man who's short from Mississippi and in the military. That's tough shit. Life ain't going to go your way. Because trust me, if life went my way, I would spend all that time in the military. I'd have the job I really want. I'd be married with some kids. But guess what? It didn't go that way. I'm dusting myself off. And I'm like we say in the Navy, suck it up, buttercup. You'll be alright. Hey, what Rico said, pay the fool. You be alright. You tough. I just need some chips right now. Matter of fact, I'm finna go get me some chips. Hey, man, that's been my time on the porch, man. You wanna holler at your country cousin, man? You can follow me on Facebook. Y'all know my name. Y'all know how to spell it. Or you can follow me on Instagram, PDMac10, PETYMAC10. Or you can follow me on TikTok, PDMac89, spelled the same way as the Instagram handle. Just replace that 1 and that 0 with an 8 and a 9 in that order. So until next week, be cool, stay calm, and get paid. Peace.